this highlighting here, this auto select, these buttons over here, the auto select buttons, are perhaps the most misunderstood buttons in the Final Cut sort of Avid universe. In Avid, when I turn on or off a track, and whether you call that enabling the track or purpling the track or selecting the track, I can do things like target what's going to get lifted. All right? If I don't put V1 on, then my lift is only going to apply to A1. If I want to do a match framing command, it's going to, if everything's selected, pay attention to the top track. If I want to do the add edit, it's only going to go on the tracks that I have selected. All right? And of course, also, if I want to do a source record edit, all right, it dictates what from the source monitor is going to go into the timeline and on what track, otherwise known as track targeting. In Final Cut Pro, these auto select buttons are different than your source record toggles. All right? Use these buttons here to toggle source into your timeline or from the viewer into your timeline. The auto select buttons do everything else, and we're done. Anything you do in Avid that you turn a track on or off for, you'll use the auto select buttons to do in Final Cut Pro. So if I want to mark an in and an out point and do some sort of extraction or lift, all right, it's the auto select buttons to the rescue. If I want to add and edit, Control V, it's going to pay attention to auto select. If I want to use the match frame command, it's going to match frame, again, opposite to Avid, it's defaulting to the bottom track. But if I turn off the auto select for the bottom track, now it's matching to the top track. I can bypass auto select entirely by actually selecting the clip that I want to match frame to. So auto select only activates when nothing is selected with your mouse, otherwise known in Avid as segment mode. All right, but auto select, definitely a very great feature. The keyboard shortcuts I want to share with everyone for auto select enable you to work really fast in Final Cut, just like you're used to in the Avid. And they're really simple. Command and a number, let me turn off my display here. Command and a number, oops, let's try that. Wrong number. I'm using the top of my keyboard instead of my numeric keypad. Command 1 just toggled on and off auto select for V1. Command 2 toggles it on and off for V2. Can everyone see that if I'm not zoomed in? Let me do that again. Command 1, see it toggling on and off. Command 2. Now, audio is not exactly the opposite of video, but it is on the opposite side of this baseline. So Option, let's get that tooltip out of the way, Option 1 or Option 2 allows me to turn those on and off. And because there is no track 0, Command 0 turns off all video auto selects. Option 0 turns on or off all audio auto select buttons. And as long as we're here for locks, you got your Shift F5 and your Shift F4. So there's ways to use keyboard shortcuts to turn these buttons on and off. I've actually mapped some of these buttons here so that if you don't remember the auto select toggles, you can have a little button right there for doing so.